This episode is presented to you by NFL Sunday Ticket, now on YouTube and YouTube TV. With NFL Sunday Ticket on YouTube and YouTube TV, you can watch your favorite teams' out-of-market Sunday games, plus watch up to 4 games at once with Multiview. Don't miss the race to the playoffs. NFL Sunday Ticket is now just $39 when bundled with YouTube TV, where you get even more football. Visit youtube.com/Spotify offer to sign up now. Lowest price on YouTube TV with base plan. Rest of 2023 season. Terms and embargoes apply. No cancellations.
This episode is brought to you by Google Pixel, the official fan phone of the NBA and WNBA. The new Pixel 8 and Pixel 8 Pro are built different. How? Take the Audio Magic Eraser tool that helps block out distracting crowd noise so your play-by-play commentary sounds crystal clear. The only phone engineered by Google brings out the audio you care about so your videos sound as crisp as they look. Learn more at googlestore.com/Pixel NBA. Audio Magic Eraser requires Google Photos app. May not work on all audio elements.
This episode is brought to you by Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. Some things are just better together, like party playlists and Friday nights, campfires and ghost stories, peanut butter and chocolate. And Reese's Cups are the perfect combination of creamy peanut butter and delicious milk chocolate. So, when you want something sweet, you can't do better than Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. Buy Reese's today wherever candy is sold.
The holidays are a time to feel and create joy. And what could be more joyous than the look on her face as she unwraps a stunning new jewelry piece from Blue Nile? How about getting 50% off your purchase? Blue Nile offers premium quality, priced below traditional retail. Their online experts are available 24/7 to answer any questions and make sure you've picked the perfect gift. For a limited time, you can get 50% off at BlueNile.com. That's 50% off at BlueNile.com.
Anything to shake this mood I'm in. My football team's got me drinking.
Back at it again, in real life. Shades of Blue, we're recording in person. It is Monday night. Our procrastination paid off, gentlemen. That we tried to do this like for 4 nights in a row, and we couldn't get it done, and it paid off because today the biggest news of the offseason came with the signing of a new striker. So, there's a lot to talk about. Let's just start with the headliner there. It is Tuesday. I'm now being told by a producer behind the glass of our great setup here that it is Tuesday. You didn't need to tell me. We could have just gotten away with that. Nobody would have known. Yes, it is Tuesday.
It's okay. It's still only like the 3rd time we started this because we keep messing it up.
That is the magic of live radio, which is what I'm calling what we're doing now, because I'm not editing anymore. We're recording in person, and this is how we're doing it.
See, that's the
one
problem.
take, Cody Bradley.
Yes. Second take, Cody Bradley. We're just going to throw away the first.
In real life, we can mess with Cody a whole lot more.
Okay, yeah, so this is the Shades of Blue Soccer Show. We've got a new setup this year. We're going to try to be doing this in person. We're going to have new additions. We're going to have guests. We have sound effects and audios like this one. Well, it wasn't very loud because I'm still not very good at this, but here, let's try it again.
You look good, Fat. I like it.
Okay, yeah,
Well, thank
we've got various audio to play. We recorded that intro. We tried to do it live like old school radio production, and it failed the first time, but we're getting better at this. It's going to be a good year for the Shades of Blue Soccer Show.
It adds to the charm of the whole situation.
A bit of our charm, right? We're letting you in the behind the scenes stuff here.
Remember, Cody, under promise, over deliver. Don't forget.
That's right. Yeah. That's going to be our new motto.
And speaking of doing it in real life and having all these expectations and things we want to do gloriously this year, we are looking for a place that we can sometimes go to and do it in person. So if there's a bar, restaurant, some other kind of thing that would somehow make sense that we could go to and have at least a semi-quiet spot, let us know. And I know somebody told us before of a good bar to go to, and I would blame it on having had COVID and not remembering it, but I had bad memory before I had COVID, so anybody out there listening, let us know of a spot that you know that might work.
What Thad is asking for is a place that will give us free things and let us record there.
Free booze, free food. Yep.
Mostly I'm just looking for a good spot.
So I still have not gotten to the full intro here. My name is Cody Bradley. We have Robert Russert, Thad Bell, and David Greenwald, our newest addition here. There's all 4 of us. The whole gang is here. We got our separate mics. There's a mess of cords on the table. I'm just trying to paint the picture for everybody here. So, yes, there's a lot to get to. Let's just start with the headliner here. The new signing of a man, and I'm not going to get fined for going for it, because the team themselves, as we were talking before we started, didn't release the pronunciation thing as they normally do, so they left me hanging here. But on a 1-year loan deal, Sporting Kansas City has brought in Nikola Vujovic.
Vinovich. That's what I would say. Vinovich, yeah.
So the J, we're just throwing the J out there.
I believe those J's are silent, aren't they?
We just act like it's not even there, though?
I don't know.
It depends on what country.
Thad's looking at us sideways.
Some J's are silent, some J's aren't. Some J's are meant to be done other stuff with.
I feel like we need to add like a like a pronunciation there, an oomph there or something for that J. But okay, I like you said it. You said it well. That was very well done. Man in suit in the corner, man in the tie in the corner said that very well.
In other words, we could just call him Nikola.
Nikola, there we go. I like it very much.
Nikola.
So the one and only thing I've learned about this player so far is that he used to play on top of a mall. That is my favorite thing I've learned about him so far. The team he came from, he was playing on top of a mall, which sounds like an awesome day.
So does that color your first impression?
I don't know if people were hating on it. I think that sounds awesome. Okay. If I was in a city where that was possible, that sounds great. Good Saturday there. Do some shopping.
There you go.
Yeah, and I just want to know if the concessions don't work or aren't very good, if you can run to the food court.
There's a food court down there, yeah. There's a Sbarro's somewhere that you could go get a pizza somewhere.
It just raised a lot of engineering questions from me. How many people can sit there? What happens if they all jump at the same time? There were just a lot of thoughts.
Yeah. It's not a very large stadium. It's like 5,700 or something like that, 5,600.
And all of them are seated right around the outside where the supports are, so, structurally sound.
I don't math that strongly, so I'm just going to take your word for it.
It's the same heating system that provides the roots with warmth, heat the whole building. I mean, you got to ask those questions.
Turf.
I mean,
It's turf.
It's turf. Oh,
yeah.
Well, he'll be great. He'll be our assassin in Cascadia.
Right.
So, what is the Serbian? How do we feel about the Serbian league, other than the fact that the teams are playing on top of malls?
So the Serbian league is not amazing. There's 2 teams from Serbia who typically make it into European competition. There's Red Star Belgrade and then Partizan. And those 2 teams generally dominate. Our new friend, Nikola, plays for a team that is really up and down. I think they're currently in 7th, which is just above the relegation battle.
Not very far. But he's scored most of their goals so far this year.
Yeah, he scored 10 of their goals. The next closest has 3. So he is their main offensive threat.
And I guess that's as good as we can hope for from it. This feels like they had to get something done. And the reason I bring that up is because we were asking the question in the Slack today about, like, why would this team even make this move? Because it seems like they're kind of in a relegation battle almost, just above the line. And so, we don't have the numbers of the signing yet, but it seems like, this was Sporting KC kind of realizing, like, hey, we have to go sign someone that we can get. Like, we need it this year.
Yeah, Sporting needed it. I don't know if that team needed to sell a guy that bad, unless it's just they needed some money, and I don't know how much we would give them to get the loan accomplished. But if they drop, maybe they get coupons at the mall. I don't know.
Well, I will say, COVID has really financially crippled a lot of clubs in Europe too. And so when you're not in the Premier League with huge TV deals and stuff, a lot of these clubs are in such bad financial shape that they almost have to sell, or in this case, do a loan deal.
And that's true in a lot of places around the world.
Was that the end of that sentence?
You also got to look
I kind of trailed off there, sorry.
You also got to look at the fact that a La Liga team, signed him for a while, so he's definitely got some quality.
Or at least they thought he had some quality.
Yeah.
So do we have any like FIFA numbers? That's a standard of when Sporting signs a new player. We don't know anything about him. FIFA numbers. What's the Football Manager stuff? We got Transfer Market. What about the highlights with the ridiculous audio in the background? Come on, guys. We got to come at this pretty strong here.
Well, did anybody watch the highlights of his?
Yeah, I definitely did.
He scored some decent goals. He definitely could. guy who, if you feed him running at goal, he can put it on net. And it looks like he can combine some that is not as his strength, he doesn't have a lot of assists. That could just be the lack of quality around him, though. So we don't really know about that. It's looking at some of the stuff that I saw other people post that looked at Football Manager. Again, it's hard to make that comparison from a league in Serbia to MLS, but he looked like he had a lot of different skills that would potentially translate, especially with this team if they're playing well. So I know David's wanting to jump in here with his analysis from FIFA.
Sure. Well, I don't know if FIFA covers the Serbian league. I'm not brave enough to try a career mode in the Serbian league. Yeah. But he is in Football Manager, and Football Manager's got generally pretty good scouting system. He rates fairly well on things like finishing, and then all the physical attributes like pace, stamina, his ability to, kind of accelerate. So probably not a burner like Gerso, but, and certainly looks to be in the mold of a guy who can probably fill Polito's role to some degree, at least. And, he's, like we mentioned, he's the leading scorer for this team. They're not particularly great. They've been pounded by Red Star and by Partizan the couple of times they've played, and he hasn't scored in either one. But he's also a full international for Montenegro, and he's got 1 goal in four matches for Montenegro.
That was a good goal.
His goal was against the Netherlands,
right?
Which they were. It was a World Cup qualifier, and they were playing their starting roster. They were playing their best 11. So he was able to bag a goal against
in the 86th minute,
a really good Dutch side.
In the 86th minute to tie it up.
One thing from the highlights that I really liked, and it was some random guy on YouTube that was doing an analysis, said he likes to come back for the ball, much like Polito does, get involved in the attack. But also, the guy likes to and has the audacity and the confidence to try from all different angles, attempts on goal. He doesn't seem shy as far as that goes. And that can translate a lot into half chances turning into goals. So I like that idea.
Rebounds, balls into the box, bouncing around, handballs. One of the things I saw in that Football Manager that somebody else had shared a screenshot of was that they gave him a decent rating as a Raumdeuter. I don't know how to say that word, so.
Well, can you explain it? Because I'm not familiar. You can't just say a word like that and then not give any other information.
My best understanding of it is it's a guy who doesn't necessarily play a position, but plays. He always finds space. He somehow finds like a lot of open space. So it's like a guy who just pops up into a spot whether you knew he was going to be there or not. And from a little bit of what I saw of him, I would agree with that. I don't know if that's his best attribute or not, but the little bit of highlights, again, highlights are highlights. But
Raumdeuter.
Yeah, something like that.
It's fun to say.
Well, that also seems to track with our other new friend who plays up top, Mr. Johnny's.
Yes.
Okay, have we properly covered the new signing?
Well, I guess one question is, how confident are we that he's behind Shelton? They've done nothing but talk up Shelton lately. And again, we were a Kyrie-friendly pod.
Did you mean to say ahead of Shelton?
Well, no. I mean, how certain are we he's behind Shelton? Like, is he going to come in? And
Wait. What is everyone assuming? Because I read we signed a new striker. I'm like, all right, he's the man.
No.
100% not starting.
No, I don't.
He
won't be.
The first 6 games.
No. Yeah, I agree with that.
Unless Kyrie gets hurt, and then we don't have another option.
He left the other game early, so.
I wouldn't say 6. I'd go for 4. Because clearly the man has skills that Mr. Shelton doesn't. Sorry. But
it'll depend, obviously.
Yeah. Of course, it's going to depend on his attitude, his work rate.
Depends on when he shows up.
And depends when he shows up.
And if Shelton is scoring and or the team is winning.
That's true. Yeah. Mr. Vermes will go with the hot hand, for sure.
If the front 3 are scoring, even if it's one of them isn't, then he will still be playing.
Okay. There you have it. Nikola Vahonovic. Say it again. What did you say? Say it again.
Vanovic.
Yeah, is what I said. Vunovic.
Is anybody going to volunteer to take him to like Oak Park Mall so he can see that playing on top of it is not normal? Or he could play like street ball and like we could kick it around in the parking lot with him, right next to the Nordstrom.
I don't think we're going to be able to let that one go.
I just wonder if when they take him to Children's Mercies Park, he's going to like say, "Hey, is there a food court down below?"
Boo. Do I have a bad audio thing for that? Yeah, I do have that. I'm on the wrong screen though. I'm not very good at this yet. I can't host and produce at the same time. Okay, Freeman and Barber, guys. Another move. Was this today? This was yesterday.
Yesterday.
Right? This was yesterday on
Bit of a shock.
Monday.
Well, it was yesterday that it was official. It actually took place over the weekend.
Yeah.
Okay. Why? How and why have Grayson Barber and Tyler Freeman been removed from Sporting Kansas City?
Well, one of my theories is that the new guy, Vunovic, is number 19, and they needed it, so they cut Barber.
That's got to be it. Makes too much sense.
Well, it does, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think they could have made him move if they needed to. But, no, I don't. I think there's just a lot of questions of if there was some incident that happened, if there was some attitude issue. I know Freeman has not necessarily made the club happy the last couple of years with something. I don't want to speculate too hard, but I mean, the kid has talent. When he's playing well, he's playing well, and he was just seemingly starting to show that last year when they loaned him to Germany to get more time or send a message or whatever they did, but it did not seem to have worked. Again, I don't want to say too many bad things about him because he's talented and he's 19 and he still has a lot of potential. Barber, I was always wondering if he would make it because I don't have any faith anybody that's went and played a couple years in college is going to make MLS at this point. He looked okay last year. The one little bit that we saw him this year in preseason, I didn't think he looked very good, but I don't really know. So,
yeah, I mean, functionally we lost depth, but we didn't lose production. Neither one of them had scored for the senior team. Freeman had never even been capped by the senior team.
Yeah, one of 4 homegrowns to have never been on the first team.
Well, not great, but Barber played 200 minutes for Sporting last year. He played 700 minutes in the USL Championship with Swope Park Rangers. Always be Swope Park Rangers to me. But, he scored 1 goal and 2 assists in the championship, in the USL Championship, and he did nothing with Sporting with the first team. So we're not losing anything other than depth, and I'm not sure that it was quality depth that we lost.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be a matter of, hey, let's release him now so he has a chance to catch on somewhere else.
Yeah, I do think that's the timing.
St. Louis, anybody? Pick up with their team before they get started.
Well, a couple of former SKC2 players have ended up in Louisville.
Okay.
Harris and Mushagalusa. So
Well done with that name.
Normally I just call him Enoch, but I was feeling pretty confident today, so I went with Mushagalusa.
He did. He said that with his chest puffed out and everything.
Well, there's no fine jar here,
No,
so
that's-
he knew that he could go for it all.
We finally returned in person, and I forgot the fine jar again.
Which I think is a fine.
It's probably a fine.
Definitely a fine.
Admittedly, that is probably a fine. Okay.
I do think that was a lot of the timing, though, what Robert was saying, is that give them a chance. If they're not going to compete, if the team's not happy with them for any reason, they're probably never going to say why, because one of the things Vermes has always said when he lets people go is he doesn't want to hurt their chances to catch on elsewhere. He wants them to have a second chance or a fair chance. So I don't think we'll ever hear anything directly about why. If we do, it'll be very extraordinary circumstances, but now is when they would need to be in getting with USL teams to sign. So, sorry, I just wanted to make sure that was clear that that's probably why it was the timing.
No need to apologize. That was very. We finished the thought very well there, and now we can move on to the preseason matches. We've had 3.
4 if you count the U.S. national team game. But,
Okay, that's right.
yeah.
So we don't know what happened.
Preseason matches have begun. New signings. I don't know. I was in Hawaii. Let me just drop that in there. I was in Hawaii for part of most of this, several of the games. So I was a little out of the loop, sitting on a beach. So someone fill me in here.
And Cody's looking tanner than normal, which is really redder than normal. But
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the ginger walked in and was told he looked a little bit tanner. So
the freckles are a little bit whiter today.
That's right.
Well, I must say this. Preseason is never about results, but if you go on certain social media sites, it's all about results. And they're like calling for Vermes' head already, and I'm like, what the hell?
Is that, are you reciting one tweet or something, or is this where there are multiple people already calling?
Multiple people.
Well, Jesus, how bad were these games? I guess I didn't pay enough attention.
They weren't that bad. They're preseason games.
Cauldron Facebook is always the best place to go.
That's going to be we need to do that's
the
a segment.
mildest takes.
I want to do that segment on this show every week. We just a reading of some of the greatest comments from CFB the week prior. But then that means someone has to get on there and look every week, and I'm not. Yeah. David brought it up, so.
No, but the Vermes progression every preseason is we're going to work on defense first. That's every coach's thing. You're going to work on defense first because that's going to win you championships, right? We get that. We don't even look at the attack until late in preseason. And this last game, they're coming together. It's progress, and we're acclimating new guys, and that's what preseason is about. Nothing more.
With the first team in the last game, it was 1-1, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was with the first team, yeah.
And the game before that, it was 2-0 when the first team was in, when it was first team against first team.
Yeah.
Which ended up being a 2-2 tie in the previous game, if I recall correctly. And Peter did say, I think it was the game before that some people got called out for needing to have performed better and close out a win.
Yeah, my big takeaway, I actually thought it was interesting, and this goes back to our forward depth, that Ozzy Cisneros is playing the false nine for us.
Well, that's because two other players weren't in the lineup.
But I think that speaks kind of to where the team sees him moving forward as a homegrown as well, though. That he's going to be that attacking forward, almost the Gadi Kinda role.
Yeah, and I think you're right. I think he's in that attacking 8/10/false 9 mold. I mean, he's got that ability. He's quick and tricky at times and can get off a decent shot. He just needs to... It seems like he's stepped up a level from last year, which it's weird how 2 or 3 months of off-season can actually help a guy be better. But it does seem like he stepped up a little bit. Just can he continue to do that and actually get minutes? I don't know if he's this year or next year away, but it might just depend on depth.
I'll be very concerned if he's playing this year. Like playing big, especially at forward. Be very concerned.
Well, in that
serious minutes.
In that vein, I mean, is there a battle developing between Cam Duke and Felipe Hernandez as far as the Gadi Kinda replacement? You see that developing?
Maybe. I don't know if I see either one of them as the Gadi replacement. Well, I mean, Cam could be the Gadi replacement because of his ability. And I don't see Felipe as that. I see him more as the other 8/10 guy. So? He's at one time he was definitely the closest to Roger that we had on the roster. Now with Jake Davis up there, he's also kind of a Roger because he's a little more in the let's just hammer the guy if I need to mold.
But before he went out last season, he was combining pretty well on that left side with...
because he had a goal and an assist or 2 or 3. No, he was looking really good at that point. But, I mean, Roger can do that also. So
I would like to take a second to recognize that at one point this podcast, at the mention of what the false 9 was, we felt weird mentioning that Graham Zusi might be playing something called the false 9, or this is the false 9 even real kind of thing when this first started. And now it is just becoming like the Pep and Man City have just changed everything. They're about to win the Premier League without a striker.
By a true Man City fan. Yeah.
You're damn right. The Pep changed from the goalkeepers having to play with their feet and playing out from the back. Now everyone in the world does that.
So is Peter Vermes a Pepe disciple?
Well, I don't know. I'm just saying the success that Manchester City is about to win the Premier League without a freaking striker on their team. They're just having Phil Foden play a false 9 all year. And so it's just... At one point, we said false 9, kind of jokingly on this show, and now it's Ozzy Cisneros is about to play the false 9. That gets me excited to talk about. I think that's fun. Okay.
Now we just got to get you to learn what a rumdoiter is.
Yeah. Learn something new every episode of Shades of Blue.
'Tis the season to shine with H&M. Discover the holiday collection and find fashionable pieces for your wardrobe or for under the tree. Get inspired and dazzle with this year's glam. From tuxedo styles, bow detailed pieces, impressive prints, and more. From unforgettable looks to unforgettable gifts. With fashion finds to home decor, find it all at H&M. Treat your loved ones and yourself this season. Shop in-store or at hm.com.
Introducing Royal Caribbean's newest ship, Icon of the Seas, the ultimate family vacation. The ultimate 6 slides, 8 neighborhoods, 0 compromise vacation. The ultimate never done that, can't wait to do it vacation. The ultimate chillin' by a different pool every day of the week vacation. This is the Icon of vacations. Icon of the Seas, arriving in 2024. Book today. Come seek the Royal Caribbean. Ships Registry, Bahamas.
All right, another one to talk about is the big news that was just slid in there at the peak news hour of like 10:30 p.m. on a Sunday night. That
was weird, wasn't it?
That Sporting announced the move away from Bally Sports. That everyone celebrated somewhere, wherever they were when they woke up and saw it, that they've switched from Bally Sports to the old home of 38 The Spot.
Sweet. I only need rabbit ears now, so I'm good.
I got them already. They're not rabbit ears, but it's actually kind of a fancy looking antenna.
Well, you can also watch it live on Sporting KC1 app or whatever that is, and
cancel my subscriptions
on the website and replays on ESPN Plus if you have that. So,
but not for in market.
No, I think the replays will actually be there.
No shit, because that's a banger if that's true.
And that's the question I asked, and if I understand the answer is yes, that the replays, of course, that's only the one, that's the ones who won't be on Fox or some other national channel, but the ones that are on local, I believe, will also be on ESPN Plus. That might be the next day. It might not be like the next hour, but
oh man, I miss easy access to full replays.
Yeah, because that's why it always pissed me off is I had to DVR the stuff, and then if it was on Bally, it would like be on this channel or that channel, or be delayed for some stupid dart throwing, cornholing, tractor pulling, poker playing, drunk. I don't think I should continue this.
Wow, you went on for a while. That was a very
complicated sport he was watching. Well, we try to give full comprehensive coverage of the issues here. So, Thad, I would like for you to take up a position on why we should have stayed with Bally Sports. Defend Sinclair Broadcasting, please.
Okay. I think that not knowing all the issues of why and how the change took place, a contract was in place for them to be there throughout the year. A organization spent the money to acquire the Midwest, Fox Sports Midwest, the local Foxes. I know there was a term for it. The regional sports networks, that was it. And this is all generated based off the fact that Disney acquired properties, and thus all this had to take place. So it's actually Disney's fault, and we should have dishonored the contract. Now, full disclosure, I am defending a position as if I was handed the stupid position in a debate, but
by a lawyer, nonetheless.
Exactly. I do think it's important to note this is only going to be for 1 year.
Right.
Because all of the league broadcasting for every team, all the rights are up at the end of the year, and the league's going to renegotiate the package as a whole. And I imagine it's going to be some combination of ESPN plus Fox plus 2DN and whatever else.
But you could also throw in Paramount and Peacock and some other options.
I've got all the subscriptions. I'll be fully covered.
I will have whichever subscription I need.
Exactly.
If you don't have Paramount Plus, you are missing out on some excellent Bosnian versus Azerbaijani Europa Conference League matches.
No, I have. I
think he should take from the fine jar for that. That was pretty good.
You can't withdraw.
Thad, how will you watch Botswana if you don't have ESPN Peacock Plus?
That sounded real for a second. Right out of your mouth. I was like, wait, do I have that?
Peacock Plus.
I do have a Peacock and an ESPN Plus and a Paramount Plus. But I don't think I'm going to go with an ESPN Peacock Plus. And I don't really think I should continue this conversation either.
Yeah,
No,
Cody's
no.
going to start asking for
I was
passwords.
getting squirmy there at all of those everything Thad was saying. I thought something inappropriate was about to leak out of there. So yeah, we can move on from
You
that.
should not use leak in those other.
Not in that conversation. All right. So I have the only other thing I have
Are
on
you
this
supposed to
list
use the
here.
rim shot sound effect at that point?
It's on the other screen. Don't make me work here. I'm trying to do. I'm double hatting it today. Stop challenging me. And now because I'm double hatting it, I left.
What did you say?
Double hat.
Double hatting it. I think that
He's the
came
Mad
out.
Hatter.
Double
I
hatting.
stand by it. I stand by it. But I did let Robert do the show prep for me today, and a little. It's just out of order for some reason. Now at the very end of this, we have a signing that happened several weeks ago.
Yeah, but he ain't here yet.
Okay, so that yes, we do. We haven't
And we didn't talk about it in a pod that
Right.
since it took place.
right because I was in Hawaii because Cody was on a beach watching whales on the beach.
Getting freckles enlarged.
Falling in love with a bartender.
Getting
Going
real
to the
tan.
ABC store.
I look real good right now. I'm just saying. So,
His name was Earl.
shall we talk about the new Cypriot?
Yes, we should. And here's what I want to talk about. MLS did not say Sporting signs this guy, and they haven't done that for the new signing yet either. I think MLS is just restricting us. Their website did not mention either of these signings.
I am. Wait, whose website did not mention it?
MLSsoccer.com. Not mention either of these signings yet.
A 20-year-old Cypriot doesn't make MLS talk.
Yes, not good enough. Yeah.
MLSsoccer.com.
MLSsoccer.com.
Okay, stats man. What do we have for our Cypriot? You got
Did they
something
do
over
it
there?
so far, David?
Yeah,
The new one?
Yeah.
The new
he
one they
made-
have now.
Yeah, he
Okay,
made
finally.
Okay,
But
good.
the other one they still haven't. I haven't seen it yet.
Well,
Sorry, I should have filibustered longer for you there.
no.
instead of going
I've
straight
got like
to you.
a full thing. My Paramount Plus subscription is paying for itself. I was just waiting for you to
Paramount is
pronounce his-
such an easy choice. I know we were making fun of all of those in ESPN and Paramount. Easy choices for a soccer fan.
Completely agree. Because in
Absolutely.
WSL on Paramount Plus, the Euros, all that stuff in there.
The-
And there was
yeah.
even a
UCL.
US qualifier on there. So
Yeah, and you know you can see Pep and Man City beat Sporting CP 5-0 like you did today. So nice guys, that was good.
that was
Cody
really- that
Cody
was-
got two Pep references in one podcast, so it was a success.
why don't you do a Man City podcast, man? Why don't you marry them, huh? No.
Well, okay. So before I give my take, I need you to pronounce this man's name.
Did you sense that I was trying to not pronounce it earlier?
Yes.
I thought I did. I thought I did that really well, but maybe not. Marinos Tizonis.
Wrong. Try again.
Did you not look at what I wrote on the paper? Come on, Cody.
There's a J, and I refuse to say this name as a J. I'm not doing that.
Well,
Why not?
Jonis? Is that how you say that?
Pretty close.
That can't be right. What are the Cypriots doing?
Calling him Johnny's.
There's no way that word is Johnny's.
All right. So
so
Shell, when you're listening to this in England and you're deciding when to come on this pod to help us out with after Johnny's has come here and scored a few goals, Cody is the one who's saying that you're wrong on how to pronounce the name that you told us how to pronounce.
Under the bus.
And if you can't tell, because if we do like a Zoom call with you, he's the redhead.
I ain't afraid of it.
Marinos Janis.
Not even sure who you were talking to there, but I'm not afraid of him. Yes, David, you said that with a lot of confidence. I'm going to you now. What do you have on Johnny's?
So Janis is a left winger. He plays a lot at left mid in a 4-4-2 for his old club, at least. But he'll probably most likely be playing left wing, rotating in and out with Daniel Shallowy, assuming that we sub or have squad rotation, of course. But what I noticed in watching clips of him play is that he really floats all over the field. He floats centrally a lot. You'll find him popping up in spots where like you would, see a 10 or making late runs in the box at the top of the box, kind of playing centrally. He scored this great goal against FC Flora of the Estonian Premier League.
Yeah, that's right.
Where he had floated in from the left wing. He'd made it all the way over to the right side. He combines for a 1-2 into the box. Ball gets cleared out all the way back to the left wing, and he's still kind of on the right. and he slips between the two center backs as the ball gets crossed in and scores just a real beauty of a goal, which ended up being the match winner. He's got a cannon of a shot, a lot like Suni Saad had, where he just hits a really heavy ball.
That's a good shout. Suni Saad did have just a certain boot about him.
And so I think he's going to be really dangerous on the attack for us. The other thing I noticed that I really liked, and I think will lead to him getting a decent amount of playing time, is that he defended hard. He defended with a lot of confidence. And so early on during one of the Champions League qualifying rounds against Dinamo Zagreb, he makes a huge lung-busting run all the way back into the box to play defense and closes down a potential cross. And
That's how you get on a Vermes field.
One of my complaints about the way that some of our departed friends played defense was they refused to close down the crosses. And so you're allowing the ball in the box, and then you're hoping that Fonte and Izzy and somebody can, head it away, or that Melia can claim it. But Jean-Yves seemed to be really aggressive in closing down on the ball to try and cut off passing lanes as quickly as possible to try and prevent crosses from being put in the middle. And I thought that was very interesting. He was a very willing and capable defender too.
I do think with all the new guys that we've seen so far, especially the ones, the Johnny's and Nicola, at least with the highlights we've seen, is these guys are going to defend from the front like Peter wants. And they're going to have a lot of moving, switching, trading off in spots, which is going to confuse defenses. I mean, that's the ultimate goal here. Is that's why you have, guys making runs into the box and switching with a midfielder out to the wing and overlapping outside backs, et cetera, et cetera. I just think that with what we've seen from those guys in the highlights and from watching some of the games, because I watched one of his full games on Paramount Plus and part of another one, I do think that's going to be a strength at this point, or when they finally all get in and learn each other and get playing time.
Well, it's one of the reasons we signed Polito, and it's one of the reasons that Peter and Nate and Jake seem to love Kyrie so much, is the ability to drag players in the defense across the field to open up space for other players to cut in and to make moves. And so, the ability for Kyrie or Nicola to come out to drag a center back into space to create a run for Jean-Yves or Daniel or Johnny or whoever, it makes us more goal dangerous.
Anything else?
Oh, and they also said that Vinovic can play a right wing too, so he's got some flexibility in this game too. So.
Yeah, Transfer Market didn't show him playing very much right wing, but I know that one highlight video did mention that he does at times.
Yeah.
And I just know some of the highlights I saw looked like he was on the right.
Exactly.
So it's probably just exactly that, as they were switching around, because he didn't maybe start there, but that just is where he ended up at that moment.
The last thing I'll say about Jean-Yves is he seems to have more Johnny Russell in his game than Daniel Shallowy. And I say that because Johnny's known for slipping and sliding through defenders and, turning guys inside out and particularly terrorizing the Los Angeles Galaxy.
That's true.
Whereas Daniel, has less of that. He'll cut in on it and, hit a shot with technique to hit a curler or something, but it's less of the ability to turn a defender inside out. But Jean-Yves, I noticed, has a lot of that slippery movement that Johnny does. And so I think he, certainly has to get accustomed to the league, but his ability to weave in and out of the box and potentially be dangerous, it just reminded me a lot of Johnny Russell.
I think what most excites me about these new guys, these new wingers or center forward, whatever you want to call them, is that they have multiple talents, multiple abilities, ways to hurt you in different ways. So that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, they're not.
And the fact that they're young too.
Yeah, they're not one-trick ponies.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, guys, Thad, how do you think our first in-person podcast went?
Wait, are we done?
Well, no, we're not. We're not, actually, because we have a new segment on the show. We won't have this segment every week or every pod, but we've got a new segment.
Has David prepared something?
That I'm springing on you because it only works well if I just surprise you. But the name of the segment is called Wrong Answers Only.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Wrong Answers Only.
And we're going to start with an easy one. Okay? Now, and Robert, I'm going to you first.
Oh, yes. Shit.
And I like it even more now.
And then,
damn it.
And then we'll go to Cody, and then we'll finish with Thad. I've been watching a lot of curling, and you always let Skip go last. And I also know that Thad will have many good takes on this.
You are currently in the home of the new Blue Springs Curling Club being built.
Yes.
Yes.
That sounds magical.
Me and my friends have already been talking about it. We're going.
Okay.
Can you get beer there? Do they give you beer while you're playing?
God, I would imagine so.
Yeah, okay, because that's like a thing in all the other curling places around the world. Okay, anyway, sidebar, go on. I'm very excited. Very excited. Cody's excited.
Wrong answers only. So here's the hypothetical. Sporting Kansas City comes to you, and they tell you that they want to put in a new barbecue restaurant at the stadium. Wrong answers only. Who should it be?
LC's.
Wrong answers. You don't like LC's?
Defend your position, sir.
LC's is the wrong answer because it's a dirty pit from what I hear, because I've never been there, but Thad has. Great food, but you have to wait until they're shut down by the health department before you can actually go there.
Yeah.
I just had LC's literally today.
Did you really today?
It was leftovers.
That's amazing.
It was leftovers from last Friday. It was, and I stopped and got dinner for everybody, and then got extra
is it?
God, I
pound
hope
of
nobody from
burnt-ends.
LC's listens to this. I'll be dead.
Friday? Let me just think about that.
It's 5 days.
That is
It was in
pushing
the
my limit for leftovers. How long do you guys let leftovers?
Privileged little sniveling snot.
You're a bachelor, and 5 days is too long. Wow.
100%.
I've gone a week.
I'm lame when it comes to this, and if there's any question at all, things have happened over the course of those 5 days. There's no way it'll be as good. Yeah, barbecue.
Man, I was still burping up smoke.
Yeah, barbecue maybe, but 5 days. You're right on the edge of my time limit there.
Actually, it'd be 4 days since it was
Okay.
Friday. So Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday.
Okay.
So my personal opinion, Famous Dave's, they're already at the Legends. You know that there's just that connection between, location. I think Famous Dave's is.
Sweet Baby Ray's.
Wow, I'm disappointed. Sweet Baby Ray's. I got some of that sauce in the fridge.
That's the one that is it Kaufman, right? Isn't that the one that is really annoying that it was? There was one that Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City with all of these amazing local barbecues. They opened up a barbecue corner in the outfield of Kauffman Stadium, and it was like Sweet Baby Ray's or something that was not even Kansas City.
Wrong answer.
Wrong answers only. All right, Thad, bring us home.
Man, I cannot remember the name of it, but it's like the south side of fucking Austin. Excuse me.
Wow, he likes this.
We need to get Beasler's take on Austin barbecue.
I should have had Matt answer this.
Man,
he has strong feelings about Austin. Okay,
it was like you had to go over a bridge filled with bats, and it was like south of that bridge somewhere, and it was not necessarily the worst barbecue I've ever had, but it was probably the driest barbecue. It might have been the bats. I'm not sure.
So, Robert, you don't like your food at rundown places, huh? Sometimes,
I've heard it's good. That's all I've heard.
At least with Chinese food, it has to be kind of a grubby looking place for a good Chinese food.
Well, don't forget, I'm your grocery store sushi man,
Agreed.
so don't forget.
Oh, God.
You're making the sushi?
No, I buy it at the grocery store.
Oh my God! I was like,
you gave me some grief on that.
I would rather make sushi than buy it at a grocery store. But my rule on Chinese is never eat Chinese food in a small southern Missouri town.
That's a good rule.
It sounds like there's a story there. It sounds like he had a bad experience.
Sounds like a couple of nights of not fun.
Tune in to Shades of Blue After Dark.
Mount Vernon, Missouri is a
Shades
very
of
nice
Blue.
place, but that place has poisoned me like 3 times.
Mount Vernon, Missouri. I'll remember
Thad,
that.
First time, their fault. Second, third time, your fault.
No, not there was 3 different places.
Well,
I stand in my position.
To all of our very loyal listeners, and I'm talking directly to you, Cheese Bro, if you have additional wrong answers only that you would like for us to talk about, leave them in the comments, and I will make sure that we answer them.
There are tens of people still listening.
Tens of people.
And actually, I will defend Robert's choice, even though I gave him crap for it, because LC's is only going to be good when it is in the dive.
Hey, everything I've learned about LC's, I've learned from you.
If it goes to a nice, clean place with potentially frequent health standard inspections, it may not be the same lovable, questionable, tasty as hell food.
Admittedly, there is nothing inviting about the outside of LC's when you drive by there.
I've driven by there more than 100 times in my life.
It looks like a place. Yeah, it looks like a place that's like probably not come in here. But so let me. Do you not like when they yell at you at gates?
I'm not a Gates fan. I'm a Jack Stack Joe's.
I'm not.
fan.
Well, the food, okay, but what does that mean? You don't? Because Gates isn't the cleanest place ever.
Oh,
if
I
we're being
don't
honest.
mind being yelled at.
And they also yell
me
at
all
you
you
when
want.
walk in. I go back and forth on it. Sometimes it's endearing, and sometimes I'm like, all right, just give me my food. I didn't do anything wrong.
That's the inside of LC's on Friday afternoon when it was so bright you couldn't see anything except smoke and sunlight.
There you go. The way it should be.
I know.
It'll fit in perfectly after they do the national anthem and the intro video and set up the
There
pyro.
you go. There you go.
I think LC's is too delicious to be a correct answer for wrong answers only.
Yeah, no, I understand. And I have to admit, this was probably the worst burn-ins I ever got from them. They were tough and chewy and still tasty as hell. Probably still the tastiest burn-ins I've had in a long, long time. But I originally got a sandwich.
Than the Texas Bat Barbecue.
It was in that.
Now, was the meat you were eating, was it smoked bat, or was it just made by bats? I need more context on these bats.
Defecated by bats?
I think it was supposed to be brisket, so it could have been bat wing, it could have been bat belly. I'm not totally sure, but
Delightful.
it didn't actually taste terrible. It just wasn't good.
You guys hear that?
Yeah.
And I don't mean Robert's dog's toenails on the floor. Also, the drinking of water earlier was coming through very strong.
I didn't even notice.
I can't believe the season starts so soon.
Yeah, we're still recording here, so you're still just talking to your mic, but
I can't believe the season's starting so soon.
In Atlanta, of all places.
yeah, it's like 2 weeks. Are we at 2 weeks? Something?
Hey, I'm going to Nashville this year.
12 days?
Anybody else going road tripping?
God, no.
I don't have any planned. Nashville would be a good one.
I'm
to
going.
Speaking of Austin, doesn't Sporting play there tomorrow or next day? They play Toronto in
They
Austin.
play Toronto FC, yes, sir.
I just can't remember if it's tomorrow or the next day.
It's the 19th, 4 days from now.
Oh.
Today's
Okay, boys.
Tuesday, by the way.
Yes, thank you, producer, with the card there. The opportune time in my intro.
I did know it was Tuesday, unlike some people who just got back from Hawaii with larger freckles.
All right, gentlemen. I'm about to run out of audio here, so we'll talk next time. All right.
He's actually running out of patience.
Yeah, the tape's rolling.
Good night.